gamers, and more importantly, weebs. We are here again because a certain series is having a video game come out. That series being JuJutsu Kaisen. At the time of writing, JuJutsu Kaisen has now wrapped up its second season and the hype surrounding the series couldn't be higher. Manga sales are through the roof, and the anime fans began some of the most stellar animation and fight scenes every week with the Shibuya incident arc. This series has been doing phenomenal. JJK is on an all-time high, and what better way to capitalize on that than with a video game? And not just any video game, but a fighting game. As expected from a battle shonen, this makes sense to do, but it's an arena fighter. You know, the pinnacle of fighting game experiences. It's a 2v2 fighter at that, and it looks awful. You've seen the title for the video already, you know what's coming. I have some words in this game, so indulge your boy for a bit. JJK fans, my people.
Let me talk to you!
I remember when the trailer for this game dropped and I watched it. Figured it was something to check out, and all throughout me watching this trailer, I thought to myself, man, this game not only looks like it came out 15 years ago, it just looks like it's horrible to play. It's also extremely floaty, like My Hero 1's Justice levels of float. Which is really funny considering the devs that worked on this also made 1's Justice. Glad to see this consistency has stayed the same. It makes the game look a lot goofier than it needs to be. Everyone is just taking flight in the air like they got the springs in their feet. It's also worth mentioning that the animations look really stiff. I realize this with the majority of these arena fighters, which I'm sure most of you have already, but this tends to be the case with a lot of them. The characters move like they have no energy in them. It's all very slow and rigid. For a series with such high octane and fast paced fights, especially with what we've seen in Shibuya incident as of late, you think the game will try its best to replicate this to give you that authentic JJK experience, but in game form. But expecting everyone in these titles is the biggest sign of hope. I knew from the initial trailer that people were going to throw money at this game, because we see this happen all the time. Big mega fans of this series feel that they have to support the series, and by feeling this way, they want to buy the games as a sign of said support. Although while you may think it's support for the series, it's really just showing these companies, Bamco, I'm looking primarily at you, that they can get away with pushing out games like this because you will eat it up anyway. This needs to change. The standard pretty much at this point for anime licensed fighters is Dragon Ball FighterZ, and honestly, why wouldn't it be? You have an anime licensed game that people can actually take seriously and has a genuine tournament scene and game performed at EVO. Because try as you might guys, Ultimate Ninja Storm and those other arena fighters don't make it into EVO, and it shouldn't, because there's no way you'll have a game of this stature in a lineup with Tekken and Street Fighter. We have to be real for just a second. I'm sure the fans of JJK would have wanted something in that same vein, but instead we're stuck with this.
Give me a good time, would you? Let's fight from a distance. Here goes
And people already feel like it's a cash grab. I mean, it's hard to not feel that way when the game looks consistently worse every time a trailer drops. There was never a time this game looked good, but it looked like it was just less and less fun every time I saw more gameplay of it. Speaking of which, I mentioned before that it's made by the same devs as 1's Justice, which is a game that exists. Definitely one of the games of all time right there. But JuJutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash is like a smidge better graphical version of that game, which is not saying much considering that game looked like it could have been a GameCube launch title. Hi-ya! They've released now 4 character introduction trailers, and there isn't a single character that looks remotely fun to play. Everyone looks exactly the same. Their same combo, which I'm sure takes 1 button to press, or even 2. Their ultimate moves, which don't have that oomph that I expected them to have. Remember the ultimate juices in the Storm series? Or for a more recent example, in Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, there was some weight behind these moves, and they tried to replicate the anime to the best of their ability. It was at least exciting and felt like a spectacle watching these be performed, but in JJK Cursed Clash they fall very flat. Even when they try to recreate scenes from the anime shot for shot, they just happen and that's it. It's over. It doesn't have that lasting feel you would have wanted from that type of move. I will say this though, the Toto gameplay in particular had me damn near in tears watching it. Because seeing Boogie Woogie in action looks so ghetto. You pretty much swap places and you can attack after, so you can play online in this game, right? We all know this, but imagine, you're facing a laggy Toto on 2 bars of connection. Because let's face it, weebs, for all the thousands of dollars we have to drop on merch figures and manga, we can't seem to spend a couple bucks for that Ethernet cord. So imagine you doing Boogie Woogie on Wi-Fi. Tell me this wouldn't be one of the worst experiences you'll have playing a game. Because playing these games is already as frustrating as it is because the player base abuses how ass these games are mechanically so they can win. Besides, you know, picking meta. But you have to fight 2 opponents, your opponent's connection and Toto. Toto will have you floating across the map wondering what happened when Boogie Woogie already took effect. It's a wrap for you. All I'm saying is, Toto mains, you better run the servers and cheese. Or not. Don't put money towards this game actually. And this game drops in February. February, huh? Specifically on the 2nd. Yeah, I hate to break this to you, Bamco, but that's also Persona 3 Reload's date, and I know what people are gonna be playing more. Also, February is, you know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth month. I don't know who at Bamco made this decision, but they generally sent this game out to get cooked.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Honestly, I do that too, so I wouldn't have to work on another one of these messes. Weebs, JJK fans, I'm begging you guys, I implore you, save your $60. You can dedicate it to better things, food, groceries, your bills, a better game, anything. Don't feel like you're not supporting this series by not getting the game, because we've been through this song and dance literally every time these games come out.
I can't take this shit no more, man.
I know the game's gonna be ass, but I love X series. I have to get it. No, you don't. You can get merch, the manga, figures, whatever else. You don't need to keep buying these busted ass products that you know are busted to say that you're a fan. This adds to the wider problem I touched on my problem with anime games vid. It feels like an abusive relationship with weebs and licensed games. You know the toxicity awaits you, but those good moments keep coming back. Which is funnier because the good moments are the anime and manga. Legit anything else, not the game. The game does not do that for you. At least from how it seems, people are wisening up to how these games are pushed out and are willing to put their money elsewhere. We need more people to follow through on that, because only then, when these games underperform, is when we can allow companies to hopefully go to the drawing board and potentially make something that is actually worth our money. This game is going for $60. If it was $70, I'd keel over. But $60 is also way too much for a game that looks and plays like this.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Here's this comment on screen. It's comments like these that are indicative of what I'm referring to. The original commenter knows what he's buying is a 2-pack of ass, but they'll get it because of how hyped they are over JJK. Person responds and says that he's a part of the problem, which sadly they are. And they even agree and say that they'll get it anyway. This mentality has to stop. I've seen this happen so many times, like having deja vu. Because let's be real for a second here, these anime licensed games, especially the arena fighters, get played for a month at most, and then you guys move on to other games. It's the equivalent of digital junk food. It comes out, manages to keep you fed for a bit, but it's not gonna keep doing this for long. These games aren't even meant to last as long for you anyway. It's a flash in the pan. By the time DLC comes out for them, the 4 people still playing the game will still be playing it. Pre-ordering this game also shows that these companies can continue to get away with these low-effort games, and I'm sure their argument will come up with, but hey, people buy COD and Madden every year and those games suck. Here's the thing about that though. The worst COD is still better than an above-average attempt at these types of games. Let that sink in. At least with COD, the game looks and plays like it came out in the year it did. Meanwhile, the arena fighters felt like they dropped several console generations ago. Stop feeling like you have to go back to your abusive ex. These games are not gonna change for the better, no matter how much you try to see the good in them. We need these games to be put in better developers' hands, away from Bamco primarily. I'll stress it again, you guys deserve better. Anime is one of the biggest pieces of media in the world. It connects people the world over, and it's the most sought after from streaming services. Stop accepting mediocrity to downright trash from these companies. I'm sure you've all worked hard for your money. You should want it to count when it matters most. Stop letting these companies walk all over you and dangle your favorite franchise in front of your face like a set of boo-boo keys. You need better, and that only happens when you stop buying bullshit like this. Don't let them tempt you because of your love for the series, especially when you know the quality before you get it. It is perfectly fine to demand more. You won't sound entitled for it. It's just coming from a place where you've been down this road before and you want some serious change. And we need it right now. Needless to say, I'm not buying this game. We got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the horizon, and money will be going to that instead.
Yes, sir!
I actually haven't bought an anime licensed game in about to be 5 years, funnily enough, come February. Because that was when Jump Force came out back in 2019. Fuck! Yes, that was the last anime game I bought, and that was the final straw. I don't even need to explain why that's the case. I'm sticking to my guns and I'll buy these games again when genuine change is made. Until then, these companies aren't getting a dime from me. Of course, if you still want to get it, it's entirely up to you, but all I'm asking is to give it some more thought if it's something you actually want. But that's enough out of me. I'm gonna go play some more Mad World. Shout out to you if you remember or know this game. Happy New Year's everyone, hope you guys stay safe and enjoy yourselves, and I'll be seeing you beautiful people next time.